Hi everybody, it's Amalia and I'm here today with more of what I did at the Maryland Art Retreat with Patty Tally Parrish. I'll start with some of the jelly prints that I made, and this is not in any particular order, but I think this particular one was towards the end of what I was doing. And I don't know if you can see them very well, or if it helps to bring them up close. I used as much as I could of stencils. Well, this was a stencil. Sometimes if the image didn't come out as strongly as I wanted to, I went over it a little bit with some marker. I don't remember which one. But I have a lot of iridescent paints from folk art. And so here's one of them. Here's another one of the last ones that I did. Again, with a face stencil. These are Jane Davenport stencils, face stencils, I'm pretty sure. And this looks like it might have some iridescent paint in the background as well. This is the first one that I did. And I just threw some paint on, brayered it over, and then I grabbed like a plastic disposable knife and just went over it like that. I was just getting warmed up here. This is on deli paper, I think. Previous two were on deli paper. This is deli paper as well. This is a ghost print of that other one that I just showed you. So you do your first print, which is this one, and then you go on top of what's left of the jelly print with another type of paint. It looks like I used a white paint, maybe some gold. I don't know. There's lots of crustiness happening there, and I took that off there. Honestly, I don't remember how I did a lot of these, but I'll try and make it up as I go along. Here's one. There's some remnants there. This looks like also another ghost print, or a second or third pull there. This one's a great one. I have no idea how I did this, except I used some turquoise type of paint there, and maybe some yellow or gold, and some bronze paint. There's some iridescence. I don't know if you can pick that up, but there's some iridescence there. And bronze and turquoise just really go well together. Again, have no idea how I did that. There's a stencil in there, and I know about the stencil, but I don't recall doing this one, but I really like this one. I'm gonna try and go through these quickly. She said, and here's another one with that same stencil, but this one is actually two stencils. So I did one pull with one of the stencils. I am guessing that I did the pink color first, then a doily, a plastic doily that that Tam gave me. Then I went over it with a stencil. I don't know what I did. I really don't know. But then somewhere in between, I used another stencil and then this turquoisey color. And there's a little bit of a flash of some other type of color there. Here again is that this is probably a second pull with another color on top. There's this orange, so maybe I blended like a yellow or an orange and that pink. And then there's some white in there. I have no idea how I did this, but it's actually pretty cool. It's really kind of aged and broken looking, and there's lots of wrinkles in here. And I like the combination of that fuchsia and orange. And there is some pearlescence or something going on there. This was a couple of weeks ago, so I don't remember much of what I did. This is definitely some of that that color that I was telling you about. That's that doily and that green. There's some purple in there. How'd the purple get in there? I have no idea. But I'm loving that. Let's see, this one is a combination of stuff. This one was some foam stamps that Tam had that she let me borrow. There's some yellow, some bright blue in there, maybe some pink and gold, and I don't know, and maybe another type of stamp, foam stamp. But that one's interesting. I did this one towards the end because I wanted to try image transfer. I didn't look up on the internet how to do it. I just kind of like picked it up out of my brain, what's left of my brain. And I did it apparently on a roll-off sheet, so I have no idea. But, yeah, that's how it came out. So it's really just a silhouette, didn't pick up a lot. I probably didn't do it right. I have no idea how I did it. Here's a Patty Tolly Parrish stencil. I don't know what it's called, maybe poppies, but I definitely used some iridescent paint there, some gold paint there. That one's pretty cool on black paper. Here's another face stencil. This is a second pull because I can see some of the poppies. Here's a stem, here's a poppy back there. So, and that's definitely one of those iridescent paints. There's that green iridescent paint there. This one, I guess, was kind of a fail. You could see the face a little bit there, but I didn't use enough contrast in the colors, or I don't know what I did, but it didn't come out that great. Then here is this. I love this stencil. This one is a badass stencil from istencil.com, and I used multiple stencils on this one because there's a second pull here. This is a heart stencil from Joan Smithies in there. And then I put some white on top of it. Then I put the stencil, I think. I have no idea how I did this, to be honest with you. Like, I couldn't write a book on the steps, but I did it. And whatever this color is, this burgundy-ish kind of color in the background, I really love it. Here's another one of that same stencil. I probably did like double jelly plating on the same sheet. That's what I'm guessing. I'm using that stencil here, but also what I did is I laid down, I think I might have laid down some purple color first. Then I took a comb, a type of comb for painting and jelly printing, and did this swirl through that. Then maybe I laid some yellow over that. And then maybe I did the stencil and then black over that. I really don't remember, but there that is. Here's, I don't know what kind of this is called, an Argyle kind of maybe. But there's that lacy stencil and then another stencil on top of that. This has a lot of iridescence. I think this was a violet iridescence. I hope you can see that. Here's another face. And this is a different type of stencil. This, I think, I went over, it's like a second pull of this on this. I don't know. I have no idea how I did it, but I did. There's some silver in here. Some of this is silver, like this is silver right here. But they're interesting. This is very different from the first time I ever did jelly printing. So here, this is, there's that stencil again. You can't really see it. There's just bits of that yellow in there. The face stencil is great. It makes it a really interesting pull. Here, there's some titanium white. I don't recall using a bronze, but there's bronze type of color in there. And that swirly stencil that I've been using before on black paper. It's not printer weight paper, it's pretty heavyweight paper. And this is, again, it's that same swirly stencil, but you really can't see much of the design. There's some iridescent paint in there, and another face stencil. Here's a really great stencil. This is also, I think, from Badass Designs, but istencil.com is where you can find it. This gorgeous bronze and blue. Bronze and blue or turquoise are such a great combination. So it seems like I put the blue down first, then I pulled it with the stencil, and then maybe I went over it again with bronze. I don't know, but I like that one a lot. Here's another one with that lacy doily-like stencil. Looks like I did it first in blue, pulled a print, then went over it in yellow. I'm guessing, folks, just guessing, but that's an iridescent paint right there, that's for sure. I hope you can see that. Again, on some black paper. This, I kind of like this in a weird way. It's got some grayish blue in there, some titanium white, definitely an iridescent paint. You can see that. On the black, it's very striking. This, I think, is one of my favorites. I think it's one of my favorites because I really like the pink and yellow and this orange, iridescent orange, iridescent gold, little flecks of pink coming through, and some circles. I don't know, just like that. Here's one. This is how that one started. I'm sure I did this pull first. And this one is just circles, and then there's a foam stamp in the background there. Here's another one. This is on like a butcher paper, but it's black with white titanium. It's kind of interesting. The face stencil is very beautiful, but it didn't get the effect actually that I wanted. This one is lovely. You can see that stencil a little bit better in this one. This one, I would say, is an Argyle kind of stencil pattern. There's some yellow and red, and not even yellow, it's this neon green. And then the stencil's in black. That's an interesting one. And here's that Argyle pattern again. This is wild. I think this is a violet iridescent on top of I don't know what. I think it might have been a green. There's some red in there too. I don't know where it came from, but that's that. Here's another stencil. This was a green and then a yellow iridescent. Or actually, excuse me, it was a blue. The original color was blue I started with, but then I added a yellow on top, so it kind of turned everything green, because blue and yellow make green. That's interesting there. Here's that again. I went on top of this with some of this green, and then I stamped out some of these butterflies with a foam stamp. And here's another one. These are foam stamps as well. This is that same stencil, but then I took some foam stamps. Love this, love that circle one, the triangle. Stamped that all over, and then I guess the main layer was this purple, then I stamped it out, and then something happened with the stencil, I don't know. This is crusty bits right here from previous pulls that didn't come off the plate, but they came off the plate this time. Here's another face stencil. The first color was white, then there was some purple, and then there's that stencil, this one that we've been looking at just now. In the background, you can barely see it. It's in blue. Those face stencils are really interesting, aren't they? Here's that same stencil, but with other stencils on top. So I can see the doily stencil from the beginning. This is another stencil with the black. This stencil is in there in these peachy colors in the background. How did I do that? I don't know. I don't know. Here's a really nice one too. Again, I really am loving How did I do this? I don't even recall doing this. Maybe somebody came at my desk when I was sleeping and did all of these. This is some sort of bronze. How did I get that color? I have no recollection at all of that color. It looks like these butterflies and these other stamps are in silver. Super nice. I love that one. And here's just that stencil with some black and some white. And here's that heart stencil by Joan Smithies. There's red as the base, I believe. Then I went over it in some yellow. And then I may have thrown some green in there as well. This is just using the foam stamps, the triangular foam stamps with some green and some yellow and maybe some purple. And there's some iridescent color in there as well. Here's another, there's that swirly stencil from the beginning. This is another stencil by Joan Smithies. This is a Patty Tolly Parrish stencil. And there's some iridescent violet in there as well. I don't know if you can see it against the black. Here's another pull of that same Patty Tolly Parrish stencil. I have no idea what this is. There's some violet iridescence in there. I think this might have been one of the final ones that I did. Again, I went through it with just a knife, a plastic disposable knife. There's some silver in here. This is titanium white. So those are the Gelli printing pulls that I did. I want to show you something else that I did. So these are actually old tiles that I had from from 2019, but I made this up during the event, and it's a picture frame. It's just a kind of country style picture frame from Hobby Lobby or something that with the chicken wire, and I just used some of the polymer clay tiles that I made a few years ago. This one's from Patty Tolly Parrish. I think this one's also PTP. That's a PTP one. At that event in 2019, she had a box full of her tiles that she had made, and she volunteered them to anybody that wanted them. And so I took a couple, and I've been using it in my polymer clay pieces. This is tile, just glass tile from Maryland Mosaics. And yeah, so I created that at the event, but I also made a bunch of stuff. And I haven't had a chance, sorry, my chin just hit the... I haven't had a chance to do anything with it yet. I've done some sort of, work, sort of laying it out on pieces, but I might have to go in a different direction. So let me just show you some of the things I made. I just have some molds, some Iod molds. These are not Iod molds. I forget what they're called. But they're just molds that you're going to find at Michael's. I bought these a long, long time ago at Michael's when I was doing candy making. And the intention was to make candy with them, but I never did that. But I'm glad I bought them because I have them now. And so these are Iod molds. Iod is, I forget what it stands for, but if you look up Iod molds, you'll find something similar here. So these are kind of like button or medallion molds. And I just molded a bunch of those, as well as this style in different colors of pink. My intent was to make something I had seen on the shelf at Michael's, and I don't know if it's going to work the same way. This is another mold. Also Iod roses in different shades of pink. So I molded those all in polymer clay. And then bake them. These burned. So and they're not really baked. They're kind of still pliable. So they should be a little harder. But anyway, those are the things that I made there. And I used what did I use? Primo 3, Sculpey 3 is what I used. This one burned. This was a mix of white and translucent clay, and it completely burned. I don't know why or how, but it did, and you can see it's not flat or smooth. It bubbled up in the oven, and I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I may just throw this away or paint it and use it, but I don't know. I'm going to hold on to it for now. And then these are the other tiles that I made. I made them using white and black clay and some Finnabar waxes. And there's a ton of them here. If you look at the video from the Maryland Art Weekend in 2019, and I have a playlist for that, you'll see the tiles I made that year. They're very similar. Different patterns, but similar in that I'm using black or white clay and the Finnabar colored waxes. These were different rolling pins that my roomie Jan had. She let me borrow, so I used some of those. This is kind of like a steampunky one. Here's another one. This is multiple clays. I just wiped over it. This is a face stamp that I had. I don't know if you can recognize it. I used rose gold over that, and it doesn't show up very well. Here's a wood grain rolling pin that I have that I just love. Here's another two nice examples of that. These burned too. These had translucent clay in them, and I think the translucent clay was the problem. You can't really tell that they burned, but you can. You can. You can't, but you can. Oh, and I used cutters to cut these. I got some cutters at Michael's, and they worked really well to cut those. Just triangular shape cutters. This is a stamp set. Let's see what else I can show you. The waxes are really beautiful. They really, I use multiple colors on some of them, so that's why you're seeing different colors. But a lot of them are, like they'll show different colors in different lights. And you just roll it out to a decent thickness, not too thin, not too thick. These are all sorts of thicknesses because I was learning, and the thickness that the pasta roller rolls it out to is too thin as far as I'm concerned. But I kind of like that look, that junky kind of look that, you know, this is a lot taller than this one is. Like you can see here on the side, this is a much thicker piece of clay than this one is. And this one's real thick too. I like it. I'm okay with it being junky looking. So I want to show you more because I love looking at them myself. Look at how gorgeous that one is. This one I think is, what is it called? Medallion? No. It's called Mandala. This one is Mandala. And I went on the site to go buy some more of the rollers. It's called Go Green World, the site where I got these really cool polymer clay rollers. But I couldn't buy it. There was something up with the site that I just went to hit purchase and it just wasn't working. They're based in Spain, but they have really quick, from what I remember from my last order from 2019, they have very fast shipping, and it's not very expensive. Again, from what I remember from 2019, I tried placing an order recently, but yeah, it just didn't work. I don't know what this one is called, but it's, oh, I think this one is like Alien something. Alien, I don't know what, Alien something. Yeah. Okay, folks, I think that about covers it. I think you get the point of all these cool pieces and the polymer clay. So that's it. That's everything that I made. Almost everything that I made during the Maryland Art Weekend. And hopefully I'll be able to make something else with all of this, but I'll definitely share it with you when I do. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please click thumbs up if you like these kind of videos, or if you just like seeing a video from me. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment below too. Bye.